Is Sega in the beginning stages of a Sonic Adventure remake? I think so, and let's discuss why right now.
I got hot sauce in my bag, swag.
Before we get started, I just want to highlight today's fan art. So today's fan art comes from someone named Defrin. They drew two really awesome pieces of metal duckles. This first one, I really like it. It kind of reminds me of something I'd see on Cartoon Network actually. I mean, it reminds me of some specific TV show on there. I can't put my finger on it, but I love metal duckles the way that he looks in this one. I love how long the duck beak is in particular. Looks pretty badass. But what's even better is the second picture. This is just perfection. This is absolute perfection. I love how metal duckles looks here. You know, you basically spoiled what I was gonna do for like the 2020 design of metal duckles. This is exactly what I was gonna do. So it's pretty much out the bag already. This is the future of metal duckles. So y'all better get used to it. But thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Anyway, hello there beautiful human, my name is RidersDX and welcome to my channel, where today we're going to be talking about something that I think is a little bit juicy, and that's the fact that the Sonic Adventure remake might be getting started, and here's why I think that. So, quick announcement, I've recently gotten a Twitch account, so if you want to go follow me at Twitch, then please follow the link in the description box below and click that follow button on my Twitch account so that you know when I do my very first stream, so you don't want to miss it. So definitely head on to Twitch and follow my account. I actually was on Twitter today and I was just like browsing my Twitter feed and all that, and I came across a couple tweets from some people in the Sonic community talking about this person that used to be a part of Sonic team that has now recently rejoined the team, and apparently this is someone who had a really big hand in the adventure games, and his name is Hiroshi Nishima. I hope that's how you say his name. If that's not how you say his name, then I'm really sorry, but I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. But it looks like he has recently rejoined Sega, and there's a couple points that confirm this. One, apparently it says so on his LinkedIn page. I looked it up, and if this is his real LinkedIn page, then it does say that he recently came back to Sega in March. But we know for sure this is true, because if you looked at the Sonic stream, which happened as I'm recording this, it's yesterday, but I think when this video comes out it'll be tomorrow. So the Sonic stream when this video comes out would have been 2 days ago, I guess. But in the Sonic stream he actually made an appearance there, and Aaron Weber formally announced that he had come back to Sonic team. And let me just explain to you all who he is before we get any further. So he did a lot of concept arts for Sonic games throughout the years, and some of his biggest works were during the adventure games. And funny enough, on the Sonic stream this past week, he actually showed off a few of his concept arts that he drew for Sonic Adventure 2, which was pretty awesome to see. And I think they brought him back because they're going for like a more adventure-ish vibe for the next game. You know, whether it be an outright remake or whether it be a game heavily inspired by adventure, you know, I do think that this might be the direction that Sega is starting to go into in terms of modern Sonic anyway, because I think it just makes sense at this point. I've been talking a lot about how nostalgia has been a really big thing in the gaming industry, especially with Crash Bandicoot in particular, and I just think it makes sense for Sega from a marketing and from a sales perspective to kind of just go back in that direction, at least for the time being. I mean, I know a lot of people have expressed their concerns that, you know, I really would rather have something brand new at this point, and to be honest, that's what I've been thinking, at least at first. If you all remember a while back when the news broke out that Takashi Iizuka said that he would be interested in making a Sonic Adventure remake, I put out a couple of videos saying why I didn't think it was such a good idea. But, and don't kill me for this, but after a while I started thinking about it, and I think I realized through my coverage of Crash Bandicoot that I actually think that Sonic Adventure remake might be really good for this franchise. And let me explain why I've made this like complete 180 in terms of my viewpoints. I think that nostalgia is just such a huge thing right now in terms of trends, and there's really no way of escaping it. And I think right now, from what it looks like, Sonic is not getting the budget that he used to. You know, I remember back when I was a kid and like Sonic got like a video game every single year, like a mainline Sonic game, and that didn't even include like the spin-offs like Sonic Riders, Sonic Rivals, Sonic Rush. You know, it did not include any of the spin-offs. We got at least one main title Sonic game every year, and I think that was pushing it, definitely, but nonetheless it kind of showed just how much budget that Sonic had back then. And nowadays I feel like Sonic just doesn't have as much to work with now, and so I'm thinking if we need to make like an adventure remake to get some money flowing back into the Sonic franchise, then so be it. Plus, I am a really big fan of the adventure games. Let's not not forget that. I mean, I know it might seem a little bit hard to believe if you watch those videos, but the Sonic Adventure games were the games that I grew up on in terms of Sonic, you know. I didn't grow up with the classic games. I grew up with the 3D games, and my first Sonic game was Sonic Heroes, and then shortly after that, I played Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Adventure DX. So those were the games that I grew up with in terms of Sonic. So they hold a very special place in my heart, and ultimately, I think I'd be really happy to see remakes of them, even if I thought that they weren't a good idea. But at this point, I do think it's a good idea because one, Sonic needs some money to come into the franchise, but two, I think it might also be a good idea to kind of test the waters in terms of how receptive would people be to this kind of gameplay, because I made a pretty similar argument in my Crash Twinsanity Needs a Remake video, in that if you remake the adventure games, then you can kind of gauge the audience's reactions in terms of like how they feel about this gameplay style and whether or not they want to see more of it in the future. And I think if Sega does a really good job on it, then people might be really into this gameplay style and want to see more of it, and it might just be the next direction for Sonic to kind of go into a more adventure vibe, where Sonic could slow down a little bit and exploration is emphasized a little bit more compared to, well, Forces definitely, because there was no exploration in that game at all. At least not in the forefront. But that's why I think that like an adventure remake would ultimately be good for the franchise, because it'll bring some much needed revenue into the franchise, and it also would be a good way to kind of experiment with the different gameplay styles for Sonic and just kind of see what works best, you know what I mean? With today's technology and with the team they have right now, can they pull off a really good adventure type game? That'd be a really good question, and I'd be really interested in seeing it. I just hope that they realize that by doing an adventure remake, there's some pretty high expectations going along with it, so they need to make sure that they take this project seriously if they do plan to do it. And from the looks of it, it kind of just seems like that's the direction they're going in. I mean, I can't say if it's going to be an adventure remake specifically, but I do think the next game is going to have a lot of adventure elements to it. And Team Sonic Racing has definitely proved that to me just because of all the music tracks we got from the adventure games in here, along with the fact that they've been promoting the adventure games a lot on the social media platforms, and the Sonic stream has been playing only Sonic Adventure 2 so far, so I don't think that has anything to do with it. It's just an observation I made. I do think that they're putting a lot more emphasis on the adventure era. So yeah, that's pretty much where my mind is right now, and that's pretty much it for this video. So what do you all think about Hiroshi coming back to the team? Are you all really excited for it, or are you all not looking forward to it? I mean, it'd be kind of hard to believe as to why some people might not be looking forward to it, but I'd be really interested in hearing your thoughts if that's what you think. So yeah, thank you so much everyone. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe to my channel if you like videos like these, want to see more in the future, follow me on Twitter at RidersDX, or join my Discord server, the Spongy Garden. This is Riders, riding out.